Hello everyone, this is part 2 of homework 17, Exponents, and last time we left off with the power of a product rule, where we saw that when we have a product raised to a power, we raise each factor to that power and keep it as a product. So we saw a series of examples, and best one to look at, probably the last one, which is an extension of the rule and shows how if we have a quantity in parentheses that is a product, we raise each factor to that power and keep it as a product. So note how every factor was raised to the third power. The 4 was raised to the third, a to the fifth to the third, b to the third to the third, and that c to the first, understood, raised to the third. We evaluate the coefficient, 4 cubed, 64, and for each of these situations, we have a power to a power where we multiply the exponents. So on our last page of notes for this homework, we have the power of a quotient rule, which is basically the same concept. That is, when we raise a quotient to a power, we raise the numerator and denominator to that power and express the result as a quotient. So you can see the rule written algebraically here. We have a quotient, x over y raised to the mth power. So we take the numerator, x raised to that power, so x to the mth, and over the denominator, y raised to that power, so y to the mth, and we keep it as a quotient. The reason why is just simply the fact that, well, x over y to the fifth really means 5 factors of x over y. Which we could then express as a single quotient, 5 factors of x over 5 factors of y, which in shorthand is x to the fifth over y to the fifth. So you can see the numerator was raised to the power, denominator was raised to the power, and it was kept as a quotient. So I'm going to show the intermediate rules here. You don't need to, but a over b to the 7th, the easiest way to treat this is, let me rewrite that first, actually. And I'll actually slide the exponents that are understood of 1 in here. And so that would be, as a quotient, a to the first raised to the 7th over b to the first raised to the 7th, and then using our power of a power rule, we multiply the exponents, so a to the 7th over b to the 7th. So if you could do this without the intermediate steps, that's great. Here's an extension of the rule, basically combining the product and quotient, the power of a product and the power of a quotient rule, and essentially everything that's in parentheses gets raised to that power. So m squared gets raised to the 5th, n gets raised to the 5th, and p to the 4th gets raised to the 5th. And I'll squeeze in the answer here. This is n to the 1st, understood again, if you want to put the 1 in there. And these are all powers of powers, so we multiply the exponents. So m to the 10th, n to the 5th, over p to the 20th. Here we have coefficients. A coefficient as well, but once again, every factor that's in parentheses is going to be raised to that power, and we keep it as a quotient. So showing it formally, -2 gets raised to the 3rd, u to the 4th gets raised to the 3rd, this v gets raised to the 3rd, and the w gets raised to the 3rd. And then it's understood once again, if you want to slide the 1's in there, is the exponents on V and W. And then just evaluate each of those powers. Keep it as a quotient. Negative 2 cubed is negative 8. Here we have a power of a power again for each of the variables. So multiplying exponents, get u to the 12th, v to the 3rd, over w to the 3rd. Okay, and then we move to the basic quotient rule. And just like multiplication of common bases turned out to be addition of the exponents, here we have dividing common bases, we subtract the exponents. So here's the rule written algebraically. X to the nth divided by x to the nth. We keep the common base of x, and we subtract the exponents, m minus n. Reason why, consider this, x to the 7th over x to the 4th. X to the 7th really means, in expanded form, 7 factors of x. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, one more, 7, over x to the 4th means 4 factors of x, so x times x times x times x. But then what we could think of here is cancellation. That is, cancel the common factors. There's one pair of x's that can go, another pair, a third pair, and a fourth pair. And formally, all of these are replaced by 1's when we do those cancellations. And then what's left over in the numerator is x times x times x. In the denominator 1, and that's x cubed over 1, which is x cubed. And you can see that essentially it was keeping this base of x and subtracting the exponent. 7 minus 4 gives us the exponent of 3. So that's analogous to the product rule, except we're subtracting. So here, if you want to slide the 1 in here, just a basic application. You could think about this as cancellation as well, and it's actually going to be a good thing. I mean, if you want to show it literally, x to the 9 minus 1, nobody's going to show that, right? It's just x to the 8th. But you could actually think about it as cancellation as well. We'll be doing that in the next homework, where we think of this as 9 factors of x. So you kind of, almost in your mind, think of the expansion over 1 factor of x, and then you take away 1 factor, you're canceling 1 factor. But using the rule explicitly, this would be y to the 12 minus 5 is 7. Here we have extending the rule. You can group the p's together. P to the 4th over p squared. Group the q's together. Q to the 8th over q to the 6th. And then use the quotient rule on each one of those separately. And here we get p to the 4 minus 2 is 2. And q to the 8 minus 6 is also 2. So p squared, q squared. Here's one where you want to be careful with the coefficients. You can group everything, like things together, like bases together, coefficients together, the x to the 6th together, and the y's to the 4th over the y squared together. Okay, this will reduce to 1/4. And here, this is where you actually do have to think about this as cancellation. That is, you think that, because you've thought about, it's going to lead us to a special property at the end here, but thinking about x to the 6th over x to the 6th as cancellation, imagine how we did here, expanding x to the 6th over x to the 6th, and you can cancel every factor. So this is really just going to give us 1. And then we could do the division of exponents there to get y squared, y to the 4 minus 2. So that would be 1/4 y squared. And that concept of cancellation here leads us to what we call the zero exponent rule. If we have any base that's raised to the 0 power, which is an odd thing, okay, the result is 1. So here's the rule. X to the 0 is 1, no matter what x is. And that, I know, is kind of an abstract idea. But here's the reason why. If you consider x cubed over x cubed, and let's say here, by the quotient rule, we'd have that x cubed over x cubed equals x to the 3 minus 3, or x to the 0. So that's our result. But then if we do it by cancellation, so this was using one method, the quotient rule. By cancellation, x cubed over x cubed, expanding, we get x times x times x over x times x times x, and then canceling each of the common factors and replacing them by 1s, you can see everything cancels, kind of like how we thought about the x to the 6th over x to the 6th, and we get 1 over 1 or 1. So, since we have shown that by two different methods, we have two different results, these two must be equal. And so therefore, the justification for our rule that x to the 0 must equal 1. So you just need to remember that as a special rule, and 2 to the 0 would be 1. Because the 2x is in parentheses as a quantity to the 0, you could just think of that as 1. This is a little different because the 0 is just operating on the x. So this would be 2 times x to the 0, which is 1. That gives us 2. But then here we've got a whole bunch of stuff raised to the 0, but anything raised to the 0 is equal to 1. Okay, so that's the end of homework 17, and we'll see you when you're ready for homework 18.